Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brad. As right on time at 7 o'clock, like I had said. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Brad Smith. I'm with Techbuds-Solutions. I am part of the OTC trading group. I head up the OTC trading group within Techbuds-Solutions, and we talk everything OTCs. And before we get on to the topic for tonight, I just want to thank all of you for the outpouring of support. It's been really something to see. When I shared with you guys about kind of how the struggles that I've been having with this whole YouTube thing, now that they kind of slapped on to me about the whole, meeting certain criteria for monetization and all that stuff, you guys really stepped up. I mean, I had a huge spike in subscriptions. Y'all were getting together, just looping videos together so you could just get the hours up. It's been really awesome. I have no doubt in my mind that I have anything to worry about um, at this point now. I don't know what the numbers are. YouTube always delays it by a day as far as the numbers are concerned, with like how many minutes on view time and stuff like that. So I won't know exactly where I'm at until tomorrow, after letting you guys know the situation that aroused today. But as soon as as soon as I know, you'll know. I'm like really excited now to you know you know basically keep you guys filled in on what's going on with that. For those of you who don't know and are watching right now, basically YouTube changed their criteria when it comes to people basically starting out, uh, in order to like monetize and partner with other YouTubers and stuff like that. And I was still, I had fallen under that criteria that they have now changed. And so I need to have like a huge amount of hours viewed in order to maintain my partnership. And so I basically shared with you guys what was going on. I was a little worried about it, and really, you guys have just put my mind at ease. I just can't believe the amount of support that you guys have provided for me, and I can't thank you enough for that. So thank you. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this, and I wouldn't be able to continue with it. And so it's because of your support that I can still do what I love to do. All right. With that being said, I think it goes without saying that over the last even week, I would say week or two within OTCs, the market sucked. It's been terrible, right? We've only had a couple really good winners. RMX was really the only one that really took off, and I think it's probably headed towards a penny, based on the news that was released on that. BYOC, I know a lot of us were in that, and the patience has been paying off, and that's the one stock that I'm going to harp on tonight about. Understanding where you're at when it comes to seeing a red day, a red week, and realizing that you have a plan and you want to stick to that plan. Because the thing is that when you're seeing, like, if you're in a position, and we'll just take BYOC, and I'll get to that in a second, and you see a bunch of red going on with it, but you have a plan, you did your due diligence, and you said, you know what, I'm not selling until I reach this point. I'm not going to pay attention to all of the emotional traders. I'm not going to pay attention to, you know, what else might be going on. I have a plan that I'm sticking to. I bought it at this price, and I'm planning on selling at this price. And you don't deviate from that. We have a running joke within the OTC world, because it's so volatile that it's easy to become scared. And a lot of times we call people, we use the terms called, shaking out the weak hands, if you will. So a lot of times market manipulators will manipulate the price to make it look like, um, you know, uh, the price could be failing, could be dropping, it could be tanking. And so it's nothing to see a 40, 50% drop on a position, and then the very next day it goes up 100 or 200%. You know why? Because they're shaking out those weak hands, those emotional traders, and they capitalize on that. People like me and a lot of us other smarter traders, or more experienced traders, will see all that red, and will begin to salivate like there's a T-bone in front of you. Like that's what you want to go after. You don't want to start chasing the red. You want to or I'm sorry, you don't want to start chasing the green once the news is already broke, right? You want to jump in at the lowest price possible. It's always that age-old cliche of high. Couldn't be more true here. And so that's kind of what I want you to think about when you set a plan for yourself and you don't want to trade something, you don't want to get out of something right when you see the red, especially down here because of the volatility. And so a good example of that is I want to show you with BYOC, and the only one of the big reasons why I'm bringing this up today is because BYOC had some huge news with some mergers and two news releases today, and it's gone up over 6.5 cents to close out the day. And a lot of people were in this, um, and what I can tell you is that a lot of people got into this back in August. Okay. And back in August, it was trading in the triple zeros. All right. And so if you can follow my cursor here, it started to trend up or whatever. People have been sticking in this long. I know people that have been. And so, ride up over the course of a month or two, people are getting really excited. And then what happens here? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red days in a row. 6 red days in a row. It went from, was it 3 cents to almost under a penny. And so that's when I guarantee you people got scared. People got real scared. We're like, I'm getting out of this before it tanks all the way back down to triple zeros. And what do people that had a plan do? They either stuck in it or continued to buy, because the very next day, after about 6 days of red, it was a huge green day, went back over 2. Okay, you had some selling here, whatever, and then it was a little bit flat for the most part through December. And then this is when it really started to move. People, I guess, started to get wind that there's possibly going to be a merger happening. And people that sold, okay, that got scared and sold, have a plan back in November at a penny, missed out on 600% gains when you bring it all the way to today. Now, is that something that's going to happen every time? Of course not. But what I want you to understand is that if you don't have a plan, then you're going to lose every time. So set yourself up with a plan. Do the due diligence. If you believe in that company, if you believe in the DD that you've done yourself, then you won't have anything to worry about. This is one of those sectors in the market, and you can follow this in the big word stocks, of course, but this in particular is one of those sectors in the market where you will find that more times than not, if you just wait it out, you're going to be okay, especially if you have the plan and you did your own due diligence. And does this work for everybody? I'm not going to sit here and say yes. 100% of the time this works for everybody. What I am going to tell you is that it works for me, and that's all I'm here to share with you. Is to share my successes, and I hope that you can at least learn something and gain some knowledge and become a better trader because of it. And so that's basically kind of the gist of what I wanted to touch on today when it comes to handling a loss. The biggest thing I can tell you is we have a running joke within our chat group that's called, having the stones to be able to just say, hey, I'm not moving. I have, this position. I know I did the homework. I know what I found is right, and what I believe to be true. And I'm just gonna stick with it. So I think that being able to handle those red days is important. It's just as important as being able to handle the green days. You got to be able to know when to sell too, right? You can't get too greedy. And so that's kind of mentality you have to have down here. You just got to have the balls for it. So with that, I want to go ahead and open it up for questions. I already see the Stones jokes flying around, so that's pretty funny. Tanner asks, what are the chances of a company coming back from a gray market? I've seen it happen all the time. It depends on the shell. Oftentimes when it's in the gray market, it's usually a shell company. And they just get some filings together, they get their act together, they get an accountant to put some filings out on time, and they can come back from that. They pay off all their debt. It's not unheard of for companies to come out of the gray market. Jackson asks, how do you find these stocks? They're not out of the blue, actually. Networking is the biggest part of being able to find these stocks, right? So, and that's why we have Techbuds-Solutions. We can all network together. We can talk about particular stocks, talk about things that we find. I can tell you today, there was one particular person within our chat group who was throwing out all kinds of DD on SRMX, was just kind of like going crazy on it, telling everybody about it, and say, hey, look, this is all my homework that I did on it. You guys should really take a look. And it jumped over 300% today for the last 2 weeks. A lot of people weren't listening to him. I was one of them. I was kind of almost getting annoyed to a point because I was in SRMX a while ago, but I guess I jumped in too early because I just got bored with it. And sometimes that happens. But, a lot of people were able to capitalize on that. Networking is huge. The other thing is scanners. You want to have a quality scanner. Equityfeed.com is a quality scan tool online that you can use. There's something in the works within Techbuds-Solutions that we're trying to come up with our own scanner, but it's very early stages of that. So more to come on that, but we're just working on it at this point. What do you think about FBRD? Do you think it will climb? I do think FBRD will climb, and here's why. Bitcoin is already coming back. Bitcoin earlier this morning went almost to $8,000 per coin, 19 back in December, right? But it's already jumped back up into the 11s right before this broadcast. So I have no doubt that FBRD is going to come back. And also, if you guys have done your due diligence on FBRD, you know that BitTrader Pro, which is an exchange that they are creating for cryptocurrency, is set to go live here very soon. In my opinion, I think it'll be within the next month. The due diligence I've had and the partnerships they have that ICOs are being are going live on their exchange. The other thing is the big news today was BitConnect, that they were an exchange, and so that leaves the market has a hole there. And what better way to fill that void with FBRD, right? I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I think it would be really cool if it did. We'd be very wealthy, I think, if it did as well. Yes, so Bassmaster Films was the person that was shouting out SMRX. Someone asked, how do you personally go about taking profits? Honestly, what I do oftentimes is I get into something when I take a position. I plan to have that position at the very least double. And so what I do is once it doubles, I will sell, my initial buy-in and then ride the profits the rest of the way. That's how I got my start. That's how I was very successful starting out. And so I would double and then sell. So like, say, for example, if I took a position of $1,000, I saw my the market value of my position run to 2,000. So then I would sell $1,000 worth of shares and ride the rest, because the rest of it's just free money, right? You're just playing with profits at that point. So, and then I would let it run until I was happy enough to where I could say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to take the rest, and I'm happy with that. And if it keeps running, I have to just understand that I missed out, and I'll get the next one. So it's hard to wrap your head around that when you're first starting out, because you just want that big win. But take the little ones as they come too. Let's see here. Yeah, BitConnect burned a lot of people. It's down like 93% or something like that. I think the last I looked, it was $40 or something like that. It's sucks. How do you play this game of OTC? Hey, you know better than ask that question. Lazy Kid, he's one of our regulars within our chat. What do you think is a better indicator for forms? Or I think you're asking the Form 4s or the 8K and 10K forms. It depends because 8Ks can also mean like announcement of some kind of change. I think 8Ks are probably the form that you're going to want to look for as far as like some kind of financial filing, like a share structure change or a like a board member change, something like that. Something that's actually changing the way the company gets ran usually gets involved with an 8K. The 10Ks and the 10Qs are, um, you know, quarterly reports and yearly reports that show how the business is doing as far as like revenue and profits and all that goes. So that's important too. But I think 8Ks you're going to find the more exciting news gets dropped on an 8K for the most part. Um, Thinkorswim has decent scanners for free, and they do. But for me personally, Equity Feed is the best one that's out there, especially for OTCs. All right. Well, Jason, you said you didn't get alert when you were live. So, what I would suggest for you to do, my channel, there's a little like alert bell that's like next to name or next to the subscribe button. Click on that alert bell every time I go live, every time I put up a video, and that way you won't miss as I go live. But I'm glad to have you, even ever, right? Um, how do you spot accumulation on a chart? Um, So usually you can spot accumulation on a chart based off of how the makers are trading. The market makers may try to drive that price down based off of what market makers on that ticker, whether it's a shorting market maker or a dilution market maker that may be trying to drive the price down and people keep buying in, especially when it's a dilution market maker. You can see that as the trades are being made, that as soon as the price goes down, somebody buys right back into it. As soon as the price goes down, somebody buys right back into it. And that's not necessarily a chart thing. That's more of a level two thing. I utilize level two way more than I would a chart. Not that charts are bad, not that you can't, win off of those, and I use those too. Just check out my Bollinger Band video. But level two is really kind of like where I hone in on when it comes to observing that sort of thing. Let's see here. And do you have any lotto plays? Every once in a while, I don't have any right now. Every once in a while, if I see like a 0001 and I want to buy a million shares for $100, I'm like, yeah, what the hell? Let's just see what happens. People are buzzing about it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right. Is iHub the cheapest level two you can get? So David Crowley asked this question. So Investors Hub is a social media platform that's geared towards any trader. More specifically, it's popular for OTC traders. And what he's asking is it the cheapest level two? So you can get level two if you're with TD Ameritrade. So Thinkorswim you can get level two on, and it's live level two. There's no delay. All you have to do is call them. If you have Thinkorswim, I think, and get it added. If you have TD Ameritrade, I believe you can just. It's been a while, but you can just select to have level two. There's a setting in there that you can just select to have level two, and it's live. There's no extra cost for it or anything. It um, comes with your account, so you don't have to buy anything. Um, all right. Anything else, guys? I'm gonna call it short here a little bit. Um, I still want to stick to the Monday night live streams. I think that's gonna be a thing. It seems like you guys were pretty excited for that. But I wanted to do like a special um, live video tonight just because of, it's been kind of a crappy day all around, not just with crypto, but with us as well. People who are invested in um, stocks that were related to cryptocurrency kind of felt the burn as well. And I wanted to just kind of like give you guys some reassurance and say, hey, just stay the course. Don't deviate from what you originally set out to do with any position that you're in. And I think that you'll be just fine. Um, So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you tuning in tonight. And again, I can't thank you enough for all of those who have supported me throughout this whole um, YouTube update thing. It's kind of been a bit of a challenge, and you guys just stepped up to the plate. It was awesome. I can't thank you enough. And that's all I got for you guys tonight. I will see you in the AM before the bell, and B Smith is out.